Yeah. Order.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Colin.
Here.
Baloo.
Here.
Contos. Van.
Here.
Amstutz.
Here.
Buxton. Here. There were two separate meeting minutes. First was from February 3rd.
Correct.
Any amendments to those minutes? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. Second one was for the work session that took place on February 10th. Any amendments to those minutes? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. Frank, would you mind bringing up that sign-in sheet for me, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you, Con.
There's his paperwork here.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yep. All right, public speak, Stephanie.
Nope,
All right, Sue,
I do. It's for service department. Do you want me to wait?
if you can bring it forward now, you can ask. Yeah.
Okay. Jackie DePietro was not able to be here tonight, so she wanted me to do this on her behalf. So I'm gonna read her text, so it's exactly what she said. Okay. Can you do me a favor and ask at the meeting tonight if they are planning on getting other, excuse me, any other bids? This is in reference to, the village water system.
Okay,
Okay, getting any other bids. We know they do not have to get other bids until the total is over $75,000. But how do they know they have the best price for the village of East Canton residents? The job that DePietro Construction bid at the water tower, they were $44,000 over the lowest bidder. Point being, why would they not get other bids?
when we look at work being done inside the village, we will, of course, look at businesses inside the village. We want to make sure that we're looking at that first, but at the same time, we have to be fiscally responsible with the taxpayer dollars. To your point, we're not required to with the amount that was listed, that the agreement was for. There's no requirement beyond that. But if we see things that are grossly out of line, we have a responsibility to look at those as well. When we looked at the labor rates and things that were presented, nothing seemed out of line for that agreement that was entered into.
So she also sent me this other thing. I wasn't at that meeting, but she said Henry's planning on setting up a meeting with DePietro to discuss the possibility of annual maintenance / service agreement.
Mhm.
Has there been any agreement agreed to and signed?
Not signed yet, no. There's been agreement discussed, but no agreement has been signed, put in place or anything like that.
So when it comes time to figure that out,
Mhm.
unless the council deems necessary, you won't look for other bids.
Unless we see something that is egregious as showing us, hey, there's an issue here, we need to look. We tend to look at Village of East Canton businesses. That being said, we don't put blinders on and say it's only Village of East Canton businesses. It has to make sense for our taxpayers. So to answer your question, we look at it in a 360 view and see what makes the most sense for our residents.
I know DePietro is not in the village, but are they considered, because they don't pay taxes? But is that a company you consider highly because of?
There's still a company that's been in the township for a long time.
Mhm.
They're well known. They have a great reputation. It's not a business that we look down upon in any way. But as I said, if it's apples to apples and all things are equal, the business in the village should get preference, in my opinion.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
Council may feel differently, and at the end of the day, council is the one that would vote on that. But if all things are equal, I would always lean more towards a village business.
I agree, but again, that's why I said they're in the township, not in the village, and we don't have another one in the village, so they're kind of
Yeah.
high priority.
Yeah.
Okay,
But at the end of the day, if a township business has pricing that's significantly less than a village business, we would not be acting in the best interest of our residents by just ignoring that. So we do look at it, it's just, it's a hard question to answer without having a apples to apples comparison.
well, I hope she's watching and heard
Yeah.
that, because that was for her. I don't have anything else.
Sounds good. All right, takes us to committee reports, service.
We'll start under other, the new employees started this past week. Training went pretty well. They're not done training yet, but they had their first snowstorm over the weekend. They did pretty good, I believe. They were out on their own, so for the most part, they did pretty good. We got some things we had to touch up, but they'll get used to it. Under parks, we got our mowers back and ready to go for spring. I gotta check into the weed eaters at Metzger's. We got them turned in over there. It's been months, so we check into that. Underwater, worked with Bobby with Wanger on the water project. They're done for the time being over there. They'll come back when the tower painting process begins and they drain the tower so they can do some wrap up fittings and things with the tower. Toolbox has been installed on the truck and we have it in our possession now for the water truck. And we're transferring tools and everything over to it. It's really nice, works out good. We had a water break on Noble and Cedar last night. Found out about midnight. We wrapped that up about 9:30 this morning. It was pretty bad. Okay, under roads, we filled some potholes, 172 primarily. It was really bad. We filled that with some grindings. It's just a temporary fix. Plus we filled some other potholes around town. Some on Noble over by the school. One on Worley up there. That was last council meeting, I believe. I talked to you guys about that one. Two more things under water. We need a new heater at the pump house. It might be the same heater that was installed in 1960, when the pump house was installed, but we got our money out of it. So the price of that is $1,775. And we may need some extra parts, brackets, what have you, when it comes in. So I don't know if Kurt can get that done for us tonight or not. And we had some pump house issues and they're resolved for now. There's some more work to be done on it, but we'll get her taken care of.
What's going on with the heater down there? It
It
just,
don't work anymore at all. I mean, the only thing it does is blow, so don't blow no heat.
What kind of heater is it?
It's old. Oh.
Is it
Kurt, what was
gas
the
or
name?
electric?
No, it's electric. What was the name brand of that heater?
Chromolux.
Chromolux. But
It
it's
was the
electric.
original one that was put in.
Yeah, it's old.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to purchase the electric heater from Chromolux, not to exceed $2,275.
second.
All right, roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
All right, all I got. Any other questions?
How did we discover that water main, that last break?
Last night?
Yeah.
So-
Low grade.
My phone goes off if the tower gets too high and overflows or gets too low. So my alarm went off about 5 till midnight last night. And usually it'll kick back in after about 5 to 10 minutes and tell me that it's back up. Waited 5 to 10 minutes, it didn't come back up. So jumped in the car, went, punched in, ran down to the pump house. Tower was extremely low. So I called Mark immediately. I'm like, we gotta go look for this break. And it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That bad. I mean, we usually use 117,000 roughly a day, 115, 100, somewhere around there. Today, when we left around 11 or noon, we had to use 208,000 already. And that goes till midnight tonight. So it'll obviously slow down. We won't use that much water after the fix. but that's how much water we blew out. I mean, it was extreme.
How big a line was it?
6 inch.
Yeah.
And it had a hole about,
They,
I could put 2 fists in it. I got a video if you guys want to see it afterwards. And then it blew
It's
the service
extreme.
line off.
Because we
It's extreme.
pay on freaking
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
It's like,
I wonder how you guys
Well,
found this road.
I went home at
President
11:30. I
Monsoon.
left the shop. Went home, took a nap. Well, took a shower, took a nap. 8. So here.
You still have to do the old fashioned, just drive around and try to find it.
Yeah,
Unless somebody actually reports
Yeah.
water.
and it was funny because as I was driving up, there was a gentleman circling around the block coming back. And he said, I was gonna call this in. He said, I just called into the police dispatch. And then I got the police dispatch. They called me right away after that. So it kind of just happened. But I knew there was a problem when my phone didn't react and tell me the tower was building back up. 5-10 minutes it's supposed to tell me it's back up. And it didn't come across. So I'm like, we got something going on. So that's a little convenient.
awesome. Sounds good.
All right.
Anything else for service? No.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys.
Takes us to safety. It's my pleasure to introduce our new police chief, Christopher Hartwell.
Hi there. It's very nice to meet all of you, and I just want to say thank you very much for hiring me, and I look forward to serving your community. Same goes for both of you. I'm glad to see you here tonight, and I look forward to serving you guys. I'll be in touch with you. At some point, I'm sure I'll see you guys around, but my phone number is on our business cards. If you see me out and about, give me a holler. If you ever need anything, give me a call here. Be more than happy to look into it, try to help you guys out with whatever I can do. As far as the police department goes, I've been here for 2 days now. We're in the process currently of reviewing our policy and procedure manual. Policies and procedures are a little outdated compared to what the Ohio Collaborative asks us to have for updated policy and procedure, current best practice. So we're kind of reviewing that with other departments to see how they're doing things. I have an officer here that you guys, I guess, had met previously. He'd been through an interview process. This is Mr. Chad Hilty. So he's going through our process, and hopefully we'll be able to bring him on soon. And kind of other than that, we're just reviewing what we're doing at the police department, how we're doing it, and trying to figure out ways to modernize it and improve it a little bit. So any input from you gentlemen would be much appreciated. My phone number and is the same one that's on all the cards. If you guys need anything, give me a call or stop in. I'd be more than happy to have a meeting. I'd like to maybe talk to as many of you that are willing to one-on-one and maybe hear what you would like to see from the police department moving forward. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Officer Pringle, you gonna deliver the report today, or?
Yeah, so.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot. Until Chief started here, I've been running the department the past 3 weeks. Call volume was a little bit lower, but just trying to keep everything, paperwork, court orders up. We did issue 2 new warrants over the past 2 weeks. Citation wise, wasn't a whole lot of citations issued, just due to a little bit of low staffing. But other than that, no major incidents to really report on.
So council is aware, Sergeant Crouch has returned from his leave as well. So starting to get the department back up to good staffing level. We are, of course, still looking to add some. That's why Mr. Hilty is here. He had went through the interview process, background check process. We're excited to have him join the team. As I mentioned in the email earlier today, it would be, of course, with the contingency about his drug screen, which I don't have any doubt that will come back fine, but we have to make the offer contingent on that. So if you all would consider doing that, I would appreciate it.
Yes.
And if you have any questions for facility, you're more than, if you have anything you want to say, feel free to step up and come up and share. But you've been a police officer for a good bit. It was with the village of Strasburg most recently, I believe. So prefers the villages over larger cities.
Are you working anywhere currently?
No, the company I worked for had a mass layoff in November and haven't found a job since then, so.
That he had left Strasburg to go into the private employment, and now is looking to get back into policing.
Did you talk about this gentleman before?
I believe, I
It
may have,
sounds familiar.
think I may have discussed it the last meeting briefly, but yeah.
And do you live fairly local as well?
In New Philadelphia.
Yes, part-time, yeah.
Definitely need more people.
2007. So you need a motion?
Yeah, it'll be an ordinance, so we have to,
I can go ahead and do that.
yeah.
We'll jump out of order with this one. It'll be ordinance 2025-06. Ordinance to adopt, an ordinance to appoint Chad Hilty as a part-time police officer with the Village of East Canton Police Department to establish his hourly rate of pay at $20 per hour. Be it ordained by the Council of Village of East Canton, State of Ohio. Section 1, East Canton Village Council, Stark County, Ohio, does hereby authorize and approve the appointment of Chad Hilty as a part-time officer with the Village of East Canton Police Department, effective upon his passing a drug test at an hourly pay rate of $20, and with all the perquisites of a part-time police department employee as set forth in East Canton Village Employees Handbook and East Canton Police Department policies and procedures. The hiring shall be on a one-year probationary period, and council does hereby further authorize the East Canton Village fiscal officer to do all things necessary to accomplish the purpose and intent of this ordinance. Section 2, the village fiscal officer is hereby authorized to draw warrants on the village treasury for payments from any of the respective appropriations and accounts for salaries or wages for persons employed by authority of and in accordance with law or ordinance. Be it further ordained, is hereby found determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this ordinance were taken in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that result in such formal action were meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Be it further ordained, this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of public peace, health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the Village of East Canton, shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage at the earliest date allowable by law. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Van,
Yes.
Amstutz, Buxton.
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Van,
Yes.
Amstutz, Buxton.
Well, third and final reading of ordinance 2025-06 by title only. An ordinance to appoint Chad Hilty as a part-time police officer with the Village of East Canton Police Department to establish his hourly rate of pay of $20 per hour. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Van,
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yeah.
Mr. Hilty, we will hold off on giving you your oath until we get that drug screen, okay? That's all part of the process. Any questions for us, sir?
Nope.
Perfect. Good to have you on the team.
Excuse me, Mayor?
Yeah.
That last officer that left, how much, if any, dollar amount was spent outfitting him, and was that repaid by him?
Outfitting,
Clothes
Uniform
and
allowance.
gun,
Yeah.
all that stuff?
the uniform allowance, I'd have to, Kurt, I don't know if we have that in front of us, we'd have to look at it.
I don't have it in front of us, but he
Yeah.
earned a uniform
Yeah.
allowance.
That wasn't given up front. That's.
That wasn't
through-
good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
was given up front. He
Yeah.
Oh,
Earned it through work.
Yeah. Anything else for safety? All right, takes us to judicial.
Sorry, do we want to talk about this?
If you all want to discuss that, you can. Essentially, what I did, council had previously discussed a budget of 3% pay increase. The service department has been taken care of through ordinance at the last meeting. With our current structure, we technically haven't had a full-term police officer since July, full-time. So I didn't think it would be fair for me to give reviews to our officers. So I thought the only fair way would be to use the 3% that was budgeted for this year. That's what I put in front of council. You don't have to take action on it today. It's just put in front of you so you can consider it.
Do we need ordinance for this or?
I think, I mean, weren't some of these individuals just recently increased to bring them up to a better?
I think what was it, probably mid-year, we did the sergeant increase and full-time increase. I think that was mid-year. Yeah.
But they were still lower than where they should have been. They really dropped.
Was it always, yeah. For the part-time, yeah.
3% is just inflation, basically.
It doesn't cover much of that either.
Like I said, it's for you all to consider. I'm not,
I think some of the ones that have been here for a little while, as far as the reviews and whatnot.
and this can also be discussed in executive session if you like, it's wages, it's things like that. It's what council wants to do, how you want to handle it. I thought it was important that I put it forward because, we are getting into the second month of the year and I want to be fair to our officers, so. But I'm not trying to stifle discussions.
I would just have to put it on an ordinance so we can vote on it. I mean, the biggest increase is 75 cents.
We'll have a discussion about it first. We'll just do the thing.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we do accept it.
All right. Anything else?
Ordinance 2025-01.
Yeah.
The third final ordinance.
That's correct, yep.
Ordinance 2025-01, ordinance appointing Charles B. Hall III, solicitor for the village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, establishing his rate of compensation. So that good?
All right, roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Good night, thank you.
All right. Anything else for judicial?
I don't believe so, man.
Thank you, Councilman Collins. Grants, anything for grants?
Yes. This past week, I stopped at Louisville City Hall and I spoke with Dan Mills, their service manager. And a lot of the grants they get, they do in-house.
Okay.
They have people there that do that. I also spoke with the police chief. Yes. And he suggested that I contact the fellow that got funding for their library project that's currently under construction. And his name is Scott Savage, and his company is Arbor Hill Consulting. So I shot him off an email earlier today, and if we can get a dialogue going, I'd like to have him come in and see if he has any thoughts on the matter.
I know in our meeting last week, we talked about pinpointing like what projects that we would like to look for grants for as well. And I think that's important as well, is to find out where we want to kind of search for grants as well. Because that's going to help whomever is going to step in and offer their services for grant writing as far as what type of grants we're looking for, things like that. Big ones that jumped out were like the water lines, pump house, police department, things like that. So I think those are
In the letter I sent out, I just simply said, we're looking for people with skill sets in grant writing to hunt down and author grants to help fund the police department, as well as water and road infrastructure, which is our big three.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's good. I reached out to the township as well to see if they have any particular person or company they use, and they don't do a whole lot of grants. But the individual I spoke to said he was gonna check into a little bit more for us as well. So hopefully he gets back with me. He said this is Varian, but his family member also has some experience in grant writing on the public sector, so that might be able to help us too.
that's all I got.
I believe that police, wage grant should be opening up again here soon. I think it's either February or March it opens, I think. I think it's open to June, I believe, something along those lines, so. Yeah,
Where would we even look for that?
that's through, yeah, there's a website, Chief, I'm sure you have it as well.
Yeah, it is through the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
It's open through June 1st. I believe it opens, I'm gonna have to double check, but I believe it opens March 31st. I'll have to double check. But yeah, that is definitely coming available. And there are a few more others through the state that offer some funding for various other things. The COPS grant is coming available as well
Good.
shortly.
Yeah, biggest thing is just getting our stuff prepared, because a lot of those grants, you gotta give the same information for all of them. So, even getting somebody in place and starting the background work that you're gonna need, regardless of which grant you put in, would be a good way to move forward, in my opinion. Just something to think about. Like I said, most of the time, they're gonna want a lot of the same information, demographics,
Right.
village, revenue and all those things, so expenses and stuff like that.
During the work meeting, we did have a consensus that trying to find somebody online,
Yeah.
out of state,
Could be-
would be very impractical
Yeah, it
and could be a big waste of money. So that's why we're doing our efforts here locally.
It could be. It could be harder to get in touch with a person who could not be familiar with, Ohio and some of the grants local. So, yeah, it's good. All right, takes us to finance.
Finance, I'd like to make a motion to approve invoices in the amount of $82,669.79 as presented by Fiscal for Guys.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz. Buxton.
I would also like to make a motion to approve payroll in the amount of $17,025.91.
Second.
And Paul, you're a quick one. No. Like it.
Sorry.
I like it, man. I like it. All right. Roll call. Collins.
Yes.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yeah.
The meeting packet, Fiscal Officer Price also presented the temporary appropriations report through the 21st. Kurt, are we able to provide that report in the minutes as well? Are we doing that now? I want to make sure that the managers have access, because I don't think the managers are included on the agenda.
Right.
So I want to make sure they have access to that appropriations report, so we can get it to them.
Yeah, I can email it to
Greatly
them.
appreciate
You want
it.
me to start emailing them the agenda? I can do that also.
Yeah, whichever is easier for you, as long as they have access to it so they can
No, that's fine.
track it.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else for finance?
No, not.
Thank you, Councilman Buxton. Let's see, under other, there's a reminder regarding the Stark County Regional Planning Commission dinner. If anybody's interested in that, I believe Kurt brought that forward, last month, Kurt, I think.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested, please,
I have to look and see the deadline for signing up may be passed.
Alright.
Because it's coming up quick.
Okay, anything else for other?
I do want to have an executive session and talk about the wages as well.
Request from Councilman Buxton to enter executive session pursuant to what, 121-22 G1 wages, salary? Yeah. Alright, I'll need a second if council wants to take this up.
Second,
Second by Lou. Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yes.
Amstutz.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yeah.
Councilman Buxton, who would you like to be present?
Council, yourself, and Trevor.
So we'll enter into 7:31. Very good. back in active
All right, here we go.
session.
You got anything?
Any other topics?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Van.
Yes.
Ansett. Buxton.
Okay.
8:13.
Who's that break guy?